Hi, I'm Joni Patry, and welcome to my YouTube channel. Well, today I want to talk about a specific yoga that you can find in a chart. It's very simple. I didn't think I needed to show any charts for this, since you can imagine this. It's just clearly very simple, and it's called an Amala yoga. What is Amala yoga? Well, Amala yoga basically will teach you how to always look at a chart from the moon being the ascendant. So even though you have a rising sign, which is your ascendant or your lagna, this is based on your time of birth. It's what sets up your chart. It will start the very first house of your chart. This is your ascendant. So you're going to look at that, but I want to train you to start looking from the moon as the ascendant, because the Amala yoga is basically from the moon. And what you do is you just look at the moon as house number 1, and you count the houses and where the planets go from the moon. Very, very important, because if you're not seeing something that's obviously in someone's life, I bet you'll see it when you start looking at the chart from the moon as the ascendant. And to be honest with you, if I don't know someone's birth time, or even if it's questionable, I always read from the moon, because the moon moves a lot slower than the ascendant. The ascendant will move one sign every 2 hours from beginning to end. The moon moves 1 degree every 2.5 hours. So the moon stays in a sign for about 2.5 days, okay? So basically, we can look at the moon as the ascendant if we don't know someone's ascendant, right? But the Amala yoga, which actually is such a simple, basic yoga, it means stainless, which means pure, which means clear, stainless, purity and spirituality. It's a beautiful yoga, and it's when you have a benefic planet in the 10th house from the moon. Now, also you can see it from the ascendant as well. But if you have it in both places, both benefic, and let me go over what are the benefic planets. The natural benefic planets are Jupiter, Venus, and Mercury. That's it, those 3 planets. So if you have one of those planets in the 10th house from the moon, and basically if you have other malefics there, it kind of spoils it. So I'm talking just by themselves. And the chart that I wanted to talk about is the chart of Ralph Waldo Emerson. For those of you who know who he was amazing, because he was born 1800s. Let's see, his year of birth was 1803. So back in that day, consciousness was not what it is today. I mean, you got in all sorts of trouble. People were burned at the stake, and all sorts of terrible things if you believe differently. But what did he do? He produced what's called the spiritualist movement. And if you read some of his teachings and writings, you're like, this guy was, he knew the truth. He knew spirituality. He was a leader in his spiritual thought. And, I just couldn't believe some of his writings. Back when I would read in literature some of his works, I was going, who is this guy? He was so aware, and he connected himself so much with nature, the beauty of nature and the Spirit of God. And he taught that we all have that spirit within us, and that is the divine. He was a very aware, beautiful soul. So his Amala yoga, he has Venus in the 10th house from the moon. So if you count, in his chart, Venus resides in the 10th house, from the moon, that is. So, Amala yoga. And he also has Mercury in the 10th house from his ascendant. That's a beautiful placement to have either or from the moon or from the ascendant. He has Amala yoga, which will bring awareness, spirituality, and truth into an individual's life. So just remember, it must be by itself. You're not going to mix it up with other planets. And if you have both Jupiter and Venus conjunct in the 10th house, from the ascendant and specifically from the moon, you're going to have Amala yoga, and you'll see a person with purity, awareness, and spirituality. That's Amala yoga. Look for it when you look for charts. You'll see that person is pure of thought, pure of mind, and they're stainless. So with that, I'd like to close. Just a brief little tidbit of glancing at a chart to find this simple yoga. It will speak wonders and volumes to you. So with that, I'd like to close. If you would like a reading, you can always go to my website, which is galacticcenter.org. Or if you would like to learn more Vedic astrology, take this to the next level, I have a university, which is University of Vedic Astrology.com. Thank you.